Steve Kitchen.
Now, the number of children being arrested in Gloucestershire has dropped by over half in 6 years. The Howard League of Penal Reform has published these figures. It says since 2010, they've come down from over 1,500 children being detained by police down to just over 650 in 2016. One man who knows what it's like to fall into the wrong company when you're young is Cameron Parker from Gloucester, who's now working very much to try and make sure that youngsters don't follow that path. Cameron joins me in the studio. Hello, Cameron. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
First of all, let's look at these figures. Are you surprised by these figures dropping by over half in 6 years?
When I first heard about the figures, I kind of was, to be honest. It was a bit surprising, especially when you see a lot on the kind of social media at the moment, also in the papers, a lot of what's really happening around Gloucestershire. They kind of focus on the bad, I guess, in many ways. So when that happens and when you see the statistics, it is kind of good. It's enlightening in many ways because numbers and statistics don't lie. So at least we know we are doing something productive. We're moving in the right direction. And who knows what can happen over the next 6 years, if that makes sense.
You said we're doing something productive. Just explain what you do then.
Okay, so what I do, I'm originally from Gloucester anyway, but I travel all up and down the country talking to a wide range of different schools, different colleges, and sometimes I go into prisons as well. But kind of my message is around raising aspirations, increasing and maintaining motivational levels, I guess, and really trying to make people think outside the box and kind of think big, essentially.
And when you talk to young people these days, and what are their problems? What are their issues?
I kind of just mentioned it then, to be honest. It's aspirations, especially Gloucester's not really the only place. There's kind of a glass ceiling around many places around the UK, places you probably wouldn't even think about, and they just don't really have any goals or dreams to go towards. So when you don't really have nothing to look towards or nothing to work towards, you don't really care too much. You have nothing to not live for, but you're more likely going to take down a different route, I guess, or a different route, whatever you want to say, because it's just easier to do that, and it's something more enjoyable to do at that particular moment.
And that's how you originally got round up.
I guess so. A massive part for me was at that time I didn't have a goal. I didn't really have a dream, and I was situated around the wrong people. But we was all in the same boat anyway. We was all kind of guilty of it, and we all influenced each other. We wasn't all bad kids, but at the same time, when you're it was being a part of something, trying to belong a part of something, and when you're kind of in that environment, you will do stuff, I guess, at a young age to kind of make people proud of you. To show off a little bit, whether that is kind of stepping over the line at times. And really for me, when it did start to change is when I started playing American football and I started having a goal. I wanted to turn my education around and go to America. That's really what changed for me. And when I had that goal in place, that's when the shift really started to happen, and that's when the transition happened. And it did take time. It wasn't kind of an overnight thing as well.
But not everyone can have that kind of the focus that you had, I guess, and that's why some youngsters get into trouble. But we are seeing that that the arrests have fallen out, halved in 6 years. Why do you think we're seeing fewer kids being detained then? If you're saying that when you're talking out there, they feel there's a glass ceiling.
I would love to say it's all because of my talks I do in schools, but it's probably not. But at the same time, you just got to look at what the community is doing. There's a lot of charities out there spending a lot of time within these schools as well, running their own events and getting actually out there on the streets. And I think this really makes a difference. Also with the policing as well. Obviously, we talk a lot about the cuts and stuff, but it all comes down to what are the police doing? Are they also out in the community talking to the younger people, making people not feel safe but also feeling wanted in many ways, and actually that we're all in this together, and if we all work together we can make Gloucester or Gloucestershire a better place.
And sort of a kind of a sense of community, a bit of local pride then?
I guess so. I really do believe that makes a difference, because when I talk about kind of being a part of a gang or something, it's just a lot of people just want to be a part of something. We just want to be relatable to somebody. And if we can kind of break down those borders or those barriers that are currently there and actually be, do you know what, Bob down the road and Sarah down there, we can actually all come together and work together, even if we got different goals or dreams, even if we like different things. When it comes down to it, there is times when we can all work together and support and help one another.
Cameron, thank you very much for coming in the studio.
Thank you.
It's been really interesting talking to you. I can see where they become so inspired. Thank you so much for talking to us on the programme this evening. It's Cameron Parker from Gloucester, who speaks to many young children, not only here in Gloucestershire, but up and down the country, reflecting on these figures then today. Good news for Gloucestershire. Since 2010, the number of